gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've already had one game today. We've seen Hellraisers make it through to what could be their final stage. But the team that's going to face off against them is still yet to be decided. Welcome to the Starladder I-League StarSeries Season 3. Joining me once again is Just Harry, and he's here for the Swedish Brawl.
Yeah, the two Swedish teams going to go head-to-head for your viewing pleasure. Fnatic and Epsilon. The first game of the night is going to be on Cobblestone. And that is going to be wait, no, not Fnatic's map pick. What am I on about? It is going to be the map pick of Epsilon, which, you know, is fairly interesting. They've had a nice bit of success on it in the past. The most notable victory, I would say, is a victory up against Gambit, which they did in the ESEA Season 24 Premier Division. But that was with Draken on the team. So, you know, we have seen his departure. Since then, Epsilon have looked to be a little bit weaker as he departed to go and join NIP. Now they have Jazar the Laser in his place.
You're really trying to sell that, aren't you?
I am. Well, 200 Hertz Mertz worked. Jazar the Laser, I don't see why that won't. But yeah, I mean, you know, we saw him actually perform the other night. Whilst he had a couple of, you know, keen rounds, a few rounds where he did actually have a very high impact. Didn't do too great overall in their game just yesterday up against Big, which I was fortunate enough to cast, you know, their first kind of try with him trialing on the team. So, you know, can he turn up there? It's going to be very pivotal for him to do so. Draken is always someone you kind of look to on this map to have a very high impact. Fnatic, meanwhile, of course, no strangers to Cobblestone. They played it 3 times recently since they've, you know, rejoined all back up on the Fnatic roster and posted some very decent scorelines since then. So it's definitely going to be an uphill battle. Do you see this going to 3 maps, Tom?
I think if it does, Fnatic will win it. The last map's Mirage, and I just don't see them losing it. I'm really surprised they didn't actually choose it as their map pick the way they've been playing on it recently. Interesting choice of Cash, but I still think Fnatic, obviously they're up against a team who just lost probably their best player, and they are a tier above just overall anyway. So Fnatic should be taking this in a 2-0 fashion, but the maps do give a good opportunity, and we are straight into the pistol. Full Kevlar on everybody except Crims, and well, there's going to be a lurker just behind JW. It would be JW. Straight off the bat, he's found every single piece of information, and is he gonna, how much is he going to get away with? Gets the first kill. Kelly looking to trade. Is he really? No, okay, JW. Okay, JW.
Okay, maybe a little bit too confident there from JW, and that nade going to find a nice bit of damage out of Jazar, holding back the push for the time being. I think he kind of regrets letting that many cross and then going in for the peak, because obviously they would still be checking the angle in case a player had came and peeked from long. This time they're going to be seeing 2 players trapped over towards mid. The one defining factor is that you could see Jazar land the shot out onto Olaf as he goes in for the peak, but doesn't quite connect the shots for the time being. It's just going to be a 4-on-4. Flusher looking to try and peek out in towards mid. Starts to round the corner. Barbar has made sure no one's got aggressive over towards B. Dennis just holding things passively over towards platform. Fnatic not looking to give away any more of an advantage than they need to, apart from Flushes, who has got aggressive in towards mid. He's not going to be in the back line. They have to watch out for this as they're making their way up long. No one's going to be checking the angle. Barbar looking like he might go down over towards B, trying to take the duel with Dennis, and he's going to be dancing with death as he tries to dodge the 9mm bullets railing his way to push out towards long now. The 3 remaining players already tagged down low. Rez going to be the first player out of the site. Does find Olaf as he goes down, but you still got to worry about not JW, sorry. Flusher on the flank. Crims in the site's going to be tagged down low. Rez coming up from behind is going to find that one, but now Flusher pounces in from long. Rez going to be isolated, looking to go down here is Dennis. Doesn't quite manage to finish him off. Finally, Flusher's going to come through and does manage to do it, and down it goes Kali as well. 3 frags for Flusher, but the bomb plant and lots of damage done. I mean, Epsilon can afford to buy up into round number 3.
Yeah, just the positioning of JW probably meant that round should have ended a lot sooner than it did. But luckily, Flusher able to rotate in and do a lot of the damage that was necessary to finish off that round. Obviously, as you said, the bomb has gone down, so not that bad considering how things started. And well, yeah, if anybody wondering, I saw someone ask in the chat, this is an elimination match. So whoever goes out at this, they're done. There's no, like, redemption stage or can we come back. That happens in the next stage. Obviously, 3 of the final 4 go through. So if you lose your match, you get another chance. At this stage, there are no second chances. It is one team goes through, one team goes home. Or stays at home, I suppose.
Already out toward mid. Epsilon just stacking everyone here. Flushing able to find that first. And like a railgun, him and JW, they combine. JW once again pouncing in from long. Barbar a little bit late on the flank. Gonna feel the full brunt of that nade. Oh, no, he actually does 6 damage. Flush is not looking at... Sorry, JW's not looking too healthy himself. Already tagged out at 4 HP. Does just look to get out of there. Flusher, meanwhile, putting the hurt down towards long. It's going to be Crims to go aggressive and finish that off. They don't lose anyone. Keeping 5 players alive. That economy in fantastic form on the CT side. But now Epsilon can field themselves a buy. Just going to be rifles upon rifles over on the T side. With Carly going to be the utility guy, picking up as much utility as he can, sacrificing the AK in favor of the UMP. And already 5 players over towards B early on.
Yeah, setting up some early smokes as well. We will see them thrown in, looking like they're just going to go very aggressive over towards this B site. Not going for any complicated strats and the nades. They're going to do all the damage early on. 2 kills, 1 burn, 1 gets blown out of the map. And that just leaves 3 to try and challenge the utility doing its job early into the round. Barber looking for an entry, trying to find something. But again, it's the flash to catch them out. Only really Jays are trying to bring this one back. He gets himself a kill, but he's so low, and now it's all up to Freddy. 1 versus 3, gets the first, tries to control the spray, but can't quite do it, and Fnatic will convert the 3rd round and send them back to pistols once again.
Yeah, and this is the fantastic lead that Fnatic wanted to kickstart their CT side half with now. They keep 2 players alive, which is going to be amazing for the economy. Doesn't allow it to start accruing too much just yet, with the exception being JW, who's sitting on $8,000. Epsilon going to be going for the force and already kickstarting this with 4 players over towards B. You can see they leave Jayzar to make his way out towards mid. Now JW going to be playing in the stairs. The person trying to shut this down as he goes out for the peak. That Molotov going to delay the push in through drop, so it does deny the rush out in towards this B site for the time being. I imagine the plan is to try and go for this rush, have these players rotate out of mid, and then get Jayzar to catch them on the rotate. Crimson drop, though, finds one. Shane's together a second with the spray. Barbar needs to try and trade this out sooner rather than later. It's now him and Freddy B both trapped in towards drop. Jayzar's going to fall on the flank, and JW's going to go huge. Finds 2 through the wall, does plenty of damage. Then Olaf to get the last 4-0 in favor of Fnatic as they shut down that drop-down push.
Yeah, already starting to look a little bit problematic as we do have the CT economy building up quite heftily, and JW's even going to upgrade for the AWP, dropping his rifle over to his teammate, and this will mean they can continue with that added AWP in hand. Now obviously we do have Jayzar added in for the AWP, but he has pretty big boots to fill, and it's going to be a tough opportunity. Obviously their teammate in Draken is already in the finals, as NIP were one of the directly invited teams, so not too much of a problem. Obviously, anybody wondering why, like talking about rankings, they won it last year, so it's obviously, you let them defend their title, see if they can do that. Either way, we are going to have the aggression over towards this A-long position. I reckon they'll check it this time, Flusher, so you are going to need your teammate of JW to hit his shot with the AWP, and that's exactly what he will do, and Flusher then gets the second as well.
Epsilon happening to get a player up through mid, though, in amongst this confusion at long. Barbar watching the flank as well. If we're going to get punished there for that aggression, he does fall, but Jayzar making his way up mid, about to get double peaked. The flash going to come out, doesn't hit its mark, and that will mean JW goes down, but Crims is there to return back into a 2-on-3. Bomb is dropped over towards mid. Barbar is to waste a little bit of time going back to pick that up. They find themselves in a 2-on-3. Barbar and Carly, the 2 players left alive. A little bit of utility to play around with. The smoke, the Molotov, and 2 flashes could net them control of one of these sites just by locking a player out. You can use the Molotov to burn one guy out. If they make their way over towards A, that would probably be the better one with this utility that they have got. But it looks like B might be the site instead. And well, that Molly can isolate Dennis over towards platform. Just force him out of that position and allow them to pick up the first frag. Then they can smoke off potentially the cross the site, or alternatively the double board. But Crim's going to go with the peak. Does find the first. That's going to be Carly going down, but Barbar quick to return. Then it's Dennis from a platform. They have the information, and they are quick to capitalize on that, get the refrag, and secure themselves a 5th round.
Yep. Looking like we are going to see the pause called out from Crims. Would suggest that that's technical. I don't know why they'd be calling a pause at 5-0 up unless they were really trying to rub it in. But not going to be anything that takes too long, so straight back into things. I do have to say that with Epsilon, it's been said in the past by people such as Natu, for example, that the one great thing about Epsilon, they do seem to lose players quite regularly, so a lot of their style is very free, and like a lot of it is about trading, aggression, like pushing as a team. So hopefully that does mean rather than just being completely out of this game, we can see them actually put up a decent fight. But so far, it's not going so well. They're back to pistols once again, and well, at least Jazer, he's going to be rushing straight in, and Olaf is going to lap up that kill. The double AWP's now brought in by the CT side.
Yeah, the push in towards drop, though. You got Crims playing up close. He's actually going to go down. Barbar picks that one up, turning it back to a 4-4. Carly's going to go up close to first one to JW. It's just going to be wrecked by the Tech 9 shots. Flusher in mid, going to go down as well, and suddenly this very, very low investment round looking like it might pay off. Barbar finds himself a second as well. Down goes Dennis, and now it's all on Olaf, who is going to be tagged down low, looking to try and hold on to the AWP, knows that one of these players is going to be hunting him. He's only got a Tech 9 and armor, really, so losing it isn't going to mean too much here with the side of Epsilon. And if they can take the AWP at the hands of Olaf, then that does make this double AWP strategy impossible into the next round if they want to field rifles for everyone. Olaf just sitting pretty in the corner trying to hold on to this, and you can see Barbar wants to go hunting. He's just waiting. Rez, the other Tech 9 player, going to be pushing on out to try and find him. Rez will go down. Barbar grabs himself an M4, going to flash out. Here's Olaf on the flank, and all down and goes Olaf. That's going to be the AWP picked up. Now a double AWP for the T side. A little bit less common for us to see. Dennis going to be breaking out the AWP on the side of Fnatic. But money is going to start to be a bit of an issue for these guys.
Yeah, they went for a very expensive setup into that round, and the problem with it, if you have double AWPs, if somebody rushes onto you, that's where you can very easily get isolated. And we saw it with JW getting closed down very quickly. The drop down pushes both players falling very early into the round. So now they're going to have to force up everything they have to actually invest 2 UMPs in play. Now for Flush, I would say that's not even much of a downgrade. There was a point in his career where he literally used this gun for whole matches on end. So we know that he can definitely pull this one off. Almost one of the daddies of it, but we'll see if this can be a strung together round for Epsilon. They need to do it. They did build up a lot of economy. Obviously, that was more of a sort of half investment, so they built up a nice amount of cash, but it's still not going to be a crazy amount, and they need to start stringing together. But that's a nice start. No head armor for JW. Easy stuff for Freddy as he picks him off first in the round.
Yeah, flushing out a hold the corner with the UMP over here towards Long. Has himself a pop flash ready. And like you say, the daddy of this weapon. Trying to make it work over towards Long. Olafmeister has rotated around and reinforced Flusher over here on A, leaving only 2 players on B, and that's actually going to have some serious repercussions as they find themselves yet another frag over on this A site. It wouldn't surprise me if we either see some aggression come out towards platform, or one of these players on B opt to rotate off to try and assist Olaf. He's now going to go out wide for the peak, does find one, but the trade's there from Freddy, and already you can see that Dennis going to be leaving B. Crims as well, looking to do the same as they load all the rags into one basket. Epsilon going to be quick on the rotate, however, just opting to go in towards A. Just pulling out of the fake. They spot out Dennis's little face poking up through the fire and flames there, and down he goes. It's all on Crims. 1v4, UMP in hand, and a bucket full of Swedish dreams as he makes his way up towards the A site.
Yeah, I think in this scenario, he wants to be trying to find himself a rifle and getting out of there. The money on his side of things is not going to be particularly good. In fact, it's going to be dreadful. They're only going to get 1,900 in. Obviously, that's going to help him out a little bit. Rifle into hand, and also an extra $600 for himself into the next round. We'll be trying to play a more catalyst role for his team. And while on the T side, obviously we know that they've only just managed to win a round based off of pistols, so they're not going to over-challenge here. They know that pushing into Crims, not really going to be the smartest idea in the world, so just let him keep the rifle, and they'll fight in the next round when the rest of his team are likely to just have a couple of pistols.
Now, this should allow Epsilon to pick up their third. You're going to have the Catalyst rifle on Crims. Everyone else, though, doesn't even really have enough to invest in pistols. You might see Crims maybe drop a P250 here and there. But, no, instead he's going to opt to buy up the utility for his team. Just trying to play that Catalyst with the rifle. Going to be trying to make it as good an investment as they can. They saved out the last round, and they're going to put him on a site along with Flusher. Why do I keep doing this? Along with, actually he's going to be all the way over on B, completely wrong side. Olafmeister going to be on B with him. Crims in a position where he can easily fall back, try to hold onto the gun. Olaf going to go maybe out for the peak. No, just faking it for the time being. Jazar can't quite connect that shot. It's going to be a stack over towards this A site. 4 players here now as Crims is rotated around as well. The early aggression on B has previously been a sign that it is usually a bit of a fake. Bomb's going to be dropped back very, very passively for them to be able to rotate around and grab. And now the push looking like it could come through out in towards mid any second now on behalf of Fnatic to try and just test for some aggression. Rez going to be watching the angle. JW does shoulder peek it. And if he goes through, Dennis should be there with the old bait and switch.
Obviously not a whole lot actually put into this round other than that one rifle. And it does look like they're edging their way back towards the B site. Drop down control. Actually quite a risky premise when you think about these pistols. But luckily for them, there's not really anybody in that scenario. And if the utility is used wisely, it should be relatively easy to take. Obviously over towards Plat, as long as the correct angles are cleared, you always have a longer range battle, and this will pretty much always be in favor of those rifles. There we go. First couple of kills coming in. Obviously Olaf does manage to get himself a rifle for a matter of seconds. JW taking another win and making things a little bit more costly. Jazar almost goes down. He has to be careful because he has an AWP. Now Flusher just going to be waiting. Wants to try and drop another rifle. Make things costly for this T side. It's just going to be waiting. Bomb just about going down. He's going to be able to deny it for at least a second. Picks up an AWP. There's only seconds left on the clock. Very close to hitting Freddy through the wall. They've got to finish him off now because with a matter of seconds left, he could actually win this out. If he gets a kill in the next few seconds, there's only going to be, what, 1 player left, and he could try and challenge. If not, then he'll be trying to save the orb, but it's not going to happen. Freddy will finally bring some, well, normality to this round and close him down, but that came too close considering how much was invested.
Yeah, I mean, Flush is one of these players you cannot let get into that situation. He found one with the USP over towards Plat, picks up the AWP, and he could have done some insane work. I mean, he's Flusher, right? Like, he's been the subject of so much abuse in the past over just how insane he is. And, well, you know, having him in a position like that with such a powerful weapon such as the AWP could have been devastating. Luckily enough, Freddy B does survive. But this round, we're going to be seeing aggression out towards Long JW. Joined by Flusher. These guys have been playing Long religiously, just stacking up here, trying to deny early aggression and then looping in behind through the stairwell or falling back over towards the site if they don't spot any early aggression. You'll be seeing a boost up under the tree meanwhile over towards this B site. No one here with the exception of Barbar, and his only job is to watch for the early aggression while the rest of Epsilon slowly but surely peek out in towards mid with, I believe that's Freddy B watching Long. Flash going to come out from Flusher just to try and deny things, but ultimately not going to have too much of an effect as he priming this nade, looking to do a little bit of damage, and nah, not much, not enough. As they now loop back out of mid, looking like they're going to make their way over towards B.
One thing that Flash did achieve was information, because he threw it and they shot. A little bit lucky with that, but the problem is they now think that this is a heavier push over towards the A side than it actually is. There's only really 2 players near the action. One of them is going to be Olaf trying to deny them with the smoke. But they're going to be pushing through it, the likelihood at least. But that will be where Crim stands. Now on the site itself, we have Dennis on the boost spot, ready and waiting for this push to come in. Just going to be fading back, keeping the man advantage. The wall of smokes will go down to try and help with the plant, but actually we're going to lose Cribs and Dennis in this attack. Olaf will be able to trade 1 back, looking for a second, but Callie gets 2 for himself. And now the man advantage is stuck with this T side, but what is that? Through the smoke, nobody holding the angles, but it's still all on to JW. Seconds left, they've got to go for the plant now. And he must know that they're going for this.
Yeah, Jazar versus JW, the new and unproven addition to the Epsilon squadron. With the AWP facing up against JW, and he's going to go down in the 1v1. On the back of some unnecessary engagements coming out from Epsilon, they throw away the advantage. Flushes push through the smoke as well, nets them that 1 frag to find him in the 2v1. And then Carly taking an unnecessary duel out towards Long. Does mean that JW finds himself in the 1v1. Then he's just finding it. He almost makes it look easy to isolate Jazar on the site and takes him down. That's going to be Fnatic arriving at a 6th. They convert that round despite having a serious man advantage throughout the duration of that take. Find themselves now 3 rounds ahead and starting to hopefully build up some money once again. However, when you look at their buy, it's fairly weak. 2 UMPs, a mag 7 up on Olaf. JW being the diamond amongst the turds with the AWP in hand.
Yeah, they've gone for utility. over the weaponry. I understand it from Flusher, especially as he's playing the supportive role onto JW. Early aggression will come out from Barber, but is forced to fall back and then gets dunked. The nade lands on his head, and he's down to half HP already at the very early stages of the round. In the meantime, the push is looking like it's about to come in towards long. JW just going to go for the timing shot, but is unable to connect, and Flusher is going to be there to support. Just try and stop them getting too far forward. But actually, they're doing quite a bit of damage with these nades. Actually going to go for the push forward, and well, JW helps him out a little bit. He will fall in the meantime, but now JW just has to try and fade away.
They're going to be watching the angle. Smoke's going to come in. A little bit of assistance from his teammates as that does deny the push out through long for the time being. Don't know if you heard him fire off the Zeus. He's clearly feeling confident. Oh, that's what confidence gets you, JW. You wind up dead. Carly finds it in a 3-on-3. Thanks to that shot. Now, Crims going to be trying to peek out from behind SWAT van, trying to get some info here. And Jazar peeking up through mid is going to be the one to keep an eye on, although you have got this flank as well coming in from Olaf, whilst he is just going to be holding it, waiting for this rotate. It's a very, very smart position to hold. Not going to be giving up any sort of man advantage the way of Epsilon if they are watching their backs, but still going to get all the information necessary to call these rotates. I mean, if he gets one frag from here, it's the positioning that's important. He essentially boxes them in, and with only 20 seconds left, it's got to be A. So he's going to now start to make his way in from behind. No one's going to be watching it. Crims will go down, but they've got to watch out. Olaf on the flank, just amazing trigger discipline here. Down goes Barber. Jazar's going to turn around. He's going to be tagged down low as well, and Olaf just peeking up like whack-a-mole, finds that frag. Carly on the side, he goes for the plant, and Dennis shuts it down. Fnatic once again find themselves another round, 7-3, thanks to that flank from Olaf.
Yeah, it came a little bit too close, and just a split second of timing and he could have gone down, but he gets away with it. Jay unable to finish him off with the Tech 9. And, well, now it's just going to be force buy for the T side. They've got to go for the AKs, a couple of pistols in play. Now, the pistols have worked quite well for them so far. The first round they actually managed to win was based off those pistols. The CT economy hasn't had much of a chance to grow as of yet because the last few rounds have come down to the wire. So it's still a great opportunity for them to reset, and that's why they've actually invested in this round. If it had been a clean sweep, the likelihood is we may have seen an eco coming out from them. Either way, Olaf, aggressive early on, trying to clear out spots. They've thrown the deep smoke to enable them just to be able to clear out these positions without any trouble. However, the T's themselves are playing relatively passively, although they do look like they're going to push slowly towards this A site. A couple of aggressive players forward, and JW is going to be waiting in the corner to finish off. Jay, he's actually just going to let him pass. How does he get away with this? Oh, almost loses his life, and actually Freddy is quick to trade.
Yeah, not checking their angles once more. Does put it down on 4-4. Thankfully, Freddy B was there to try and get that trade as he does equalize out that man advantage. Now, Epsilon going to be rerouting back over towards this B bomb site, looking to rejoin his comrades here. Crims making his way up towards the hole in the wall, looking to try and play it up close with the UMP. Of course, it is going to be beneficial to have the SMGs at these short-range engagements. When even up against the rifles now, they can sometimes win at longer ranges, but short range undoubtedly the way to go, as Crims holding the close angle, going to be facing off against Rez and Carly while the push comes in from drop down. In danger of being caught in the side, falls on back. Rez going to be there to trade. Dennis does find one. Freddy B got a lot to try and do here. A lot on his plate as he finds that first frag. Fox is going to be there as well. Goes for the spray, but can't quite connect. Leaving it all on Rez. 1v2. Got to try and get this bomb down. 15 seconds left. Once again, time going to be the bane of their existence in this round. Bomb's going to go down at least, but Olaf coming in from long. Flusher with the crossfire set up. This round almost looking unlosable, and there's Olaf with the shot. A team ace for Fnatic. The defuse going to come in. Only 2 players left alive, so the economy not going to be given that chance to take off just yet. And the bomb plant meaning that Epsilon do have a little bit of money, making another force buy possible.
Yeah, I think in this sort of scenarios where we'll probably just see them go for a few pistols, I think going for a full force here would be just way too risky and not really worth it. The CT side still do have a weakened economy, though. The last few rounds, they've had a maximum of 2 players surviving, so you do have to say that these pistols are definitely warranted, and going into the round after, 2,900 will be more than enough to get themselves a buy on the board. It's going to be aggressive, it's going to be quick, and it's going to be B.
Yeah, just rushing on in. It's just going to be the full brunt of the Swedes versus the Swedes. And while Olaf going to be able to find one, but the trade does come through from Rez. He managed to scam himself an AK, and then Jazar in the meantime going to be able to dispatch of Crims. They get a 3-on-4, make that a 2-on-4 as Rez going to find frag number 2. It's JW on the flank. The man and the linchpin who can make all the difference, going to be able to get that one. Takes out the UMP, and down goes Rez as well. Just guillotining this push. Flusher through the door, going to be able to dispatch of Jazar. It's all on Freddy B, the lone A-Lurk player. Currently top of the board for Epsilon, going to try and clutch this out 1v2 against Fnatic, a team of legendary status coming in from behind. He's going to get hurt jumping through the window. JW connects a couple of shots his way, going to tag him down. They know where he is now. Does grab himself a UMP. Flusher's tagged down low, so this isn't within the realms of impossibility. But Flusher and JW just going to fall on back. Lots of experience between them. Flusher trying to take the long-range duel. There's a mere one shot away from death. Freddy B trying to exert some pressure out from drop. Actually tags JW down low as well. Freddy B ain't looking too healthy though as he tries to go out for the shoulder peek. Only 35 seconds left to play around with. Still plenty of time in comparison to their last couple of rounds. JW and Flusher both playing this very passively over towards platform. Does mean they should be able to get this trade out, but I mean with JW watching the push, watching the cross, and Flusher actually keeping an eye more on drop down. Freddy B could potentially isolate JW with how they've decided to play this. Flusher now going to be peeking out wide. JW is going to be quick on the trade, but it doesn't matter. Flusher is there to find that frag, and that'll be Fnatic arriving at 9 rounds. Incredibly close, though, considering how little Epsilon initially invested.
Yeah, the problem is at the moment, though, is that Fnatic, although a lot of these rounds are close, as we can see from, like, as said, it's still just 2 players or less surviving. They're winning every single clutch scenario. They're winning all of these positions, and it means that the scoreline at 9-3, they're already going to be pretty happy going into the second half, even if they lose the remaining 3 rounds. Obviously, they're going to want to try and win them. That's not the logic I'm going behind, but it's just sort of the idea that, okay, yeah, maybe we do get ecoed here. Maybe something goes wrong. They're still in such a strong spot. Now, in terms of the T side in this round, they are slowing things down a little bit. They've got the AWP in the hands of Jay, although it is glass cannon, so he has to be a little bit careful. And actually, JW already doing some early damage. Crim's going to be completely blind, but Barber just jumps into his arms, and Crims pushes him away.
No, and through the smoke, JW had a way to deal with Jazar. Swedes, a loving bunch, cuddling each other in cobblestone window. And cobblestone window, drop down window. Now going to be seeing the push up towards this A site. 3-on-5. They're going to get 2 players up through mid. Carly and Freddy B in a great position to try and trade these frags out. And down goes Crims in the double peak. JW going to be punished as well. But it's Flusher on the flank. Knife out. Going to be swapping out to the AK. And does land that shot on a Rez. Going to be putting it back into a 2-on-3. They've got to worry about the player on the flank, but it's Olaf at balcony. The player who can try and deny this bomb plant doesn't quite manage to do so. Carly going to try and force the issue in through the murder hole. And well, this is why they call it just that. Going to be able to find out that frag on Olaf. Eliminating him from the equation. Freddy B on the site. Dispatches of Dennis. And now it's all on Flusher. Trying to flush this player out of the site. Does throw the nade. Misses its mark though. Going to be 1v1. And Freddy just playing around the hut. Going to be trying to play for time. Waiting for the aggression to come in from Flusher. He's making his way around the back of SWAT. Freddy going to try and take the peek, and Flusher walking out unknowingly into his arms. Is going to be spotted, but he doesn't connect the shot just yet. Flusher going to go aggressive, just playing it around the hut perfectly, but Freddy leaving it down to time. Very little time left, and just walks into the arms of Flusher, but the bomb's going to go off regardless. Freddy doing all he needed to do. Flusher does get the oh baby a triple. Epsilon find themselves a 4th.
And now we finally get to see the damage has been done by all of these rounds that have come up. Obviously, Flusher is going to be dropping a weapon at least, and JW can buy an AWP if he so desires it, or drop a UMP and get himself a rifle. So it's not the worst case, but at the same time, it really does show how close these rounds are. It's unusual that you win 4 rounds in a row, a player saves a weapon, and you still don't have enough money to actually get a decent buy on the board. So Epsilon finally hitting that marker of, okay, now we can reset them, but the fact is, it is coming right down to the last couple of rounds of the half. Epsilon themselves have called a pause to try and do something with this, but you have to remember every single player on their team died, so their economy's not in a good state either, and the likelihood is, or the almost definite chance is, that the loser of this round is going to be eco for the final.
Yeah, essentially that makes it a 2-for-1. So the gravity around this round is immense. If Epsilon do manage to pick it up, they could find themselves with 6 rounds very, very easily. But meanwhile, the flip side of that is that Fnatic do manage to secure it. It could go to an 11-4 scoreline, at which point a lot of this is going to rest on the fate of that pistol round heading into the second half. This pause, albeit very, very late into the first half, carries monumental side effects here for Epsilon. And I imagine A lot of this is just going to come down to can they find these early frags. I mean, they've seen a good bit of success actually out towards this A site. They usually lose the duel over towards long because we've seen flusha and JW playing a very, very nice double peak kind of trade game over towards long. But then they make their way out through mid, and then that's when things get interesting. We've seen Crims fall multiple times on the rotate out through drop down. They've been able to capitalize on that. JW as well sometimes gets a little bit too big for his boots in towards mid, taking some unnecessary angles and does go down. So they can definitely net themselves the early man advantage. It's just holding on to that and maintaining it and not allowing Fnatic to capitalize on anywhere where they do have these weaknesses. So we're going to be seeing the unpause called in any minute now. And well, in terms of utility, Epsilon are going to be looking bare. Barbar might sacrifice getting anything that will be too strong into this in favor of picking up the UMP with a healthy bit of utility behind it. But he's really their utility belt. Freddy B going to have 2 flashes and a smoke. Other than that, with 4 smokes in hand, wouldn't surprise me if maybe we see some sort of wall of smoke strategy, perhaps out towards B. But I imagine they're going to test the waters A first, because as I said, they have had a nice bit of success over towards here.
Yeah, the early aggression will go in that direction, but they got to be careful. Same angle that's been held multiple times, and well, this time JW has an AWP. Not something that was expected. He's going to rotate around, but Freddy's actually already into the corner. Could catch him on the timing, and that's exactly what will happen. That single AWP, that single heavy weapon is going to go down very, very quickly, and now the pounce will come in. Kale getting tagged through the smoke onto the door as they will push forward. Dennis may be caught in the corner, but actually he's caught out himself. flusha is going to be able to take a couple of players with him, and Crims now on the flank is just ready to try and take his head clean off. Goodbye, Rez. Leaves it all onto Freddy. Not the person that we want to see with this AWP most of the time, but maybe he could try and clutch this out.
Yeah, it's all going to be on Freddy Bay. The man looking to try and slay. Does pick up the AK and lives to fight another day over towards long. Dipping down in through the stairwell, trying to find some sort of leeway here. Is going to be picking back up the AWP as he rears his head out through long, trying to spot out one of these lone Swedes. Just juggling these weapons back and forth. Doesn't really have too much time to play around. The singular flash is all that he has on his belt. And, well, any frags he can get going to be hardly felt as he peeks out from long. Dennis going to go down. It's a 1v2. Currently over towards stables. Bomb is down in the middle of the site, and Fnatic more than aware of this, have this crossfire set up. Pop flash going to come out, but it does miss its mark. Crim's going to be hit by it, but Olaf is not. Takes the peek with the UMP, and down goes Freddy B. That's a 10-4 scoreline in favor of Fnatic. 6 rounds ahead as Epsilon are going to be reset for the last round of the half.
Yeah, never something you like to see in Counter-Strike. The last round should always be a bye, otherwise it's a little bit disappointing or anticlimactic to say the least. But they've got those trusty techs again, and we saw how powerful they were in the first round. They actually managed to win round 6, so they are going to be edging their way over towards this B site. Aggressive push out from Barber, who's going to make his way forward. Dennis looking to try and counter this by getting up very, very close. He's got a lot of players down that shooting range. They're trying to stick to the left. He's done so much damage, but not quite able to get himself a kill. This leaves just Olov on the site to try and challenge. They have a little bit of presence over towards Drop, and he gets a double with the nade. So much damage done already by his teammate that he'll just be able to get those assists. JW with 1, but it's traded back instantly by these techs, who are going to get themselves another kill. 4 for Barb already in the round, and Jazer will finish Tech9's OP.
A phenomenal round there from Barbar. 4 insane frags on the back of that Tech9 armor buy. Nets Epsilon themselves a 5th, 10-5 as we head into the second half. And while this pistol round could make all the difference, Epsilon could potentially bring this one back to an 8-10 scoreline, 7-10 minimum if they pick up the pistol here on their CT side. So definitely down, but not out just yet, as they want to go down fighting at least. A 10-5 scoreline, definitely ones that they can pull back and even take the lead on. Let's not forget this is their map pick. Moving into the CT side, we could see something amazing happen. And well, it's going to be the case that they buy down 4 sets of armor. Barber going to be picking up the P250 and utility. Interestingly enough, no kit on the side of Epsilon.
Yeah, and look at this. Straight rush onto this B site once again. A common strategy. See if it works out. Bomb going to be dropped by Rez already onto the site. The boost will come up onto the tree. JW trying to make his way into drop, but Rez is doing all the work at the moment. Quickly traded out by Dennis, but it's still a man advantage for the CT side. As you said, no kit. But they're not planning on letting them get this bomb down. Barber with the P250 will go aggressive, leaving just flusha left to try and challenge versus 3. He is surrounded, gets the first, but that will be all as Barber finishes once again.
Yeah, that is going to be Epsilon finding themselves there sick. They do deny the bomb plant as well, which means they can now potentially find themselves 8 to 10, closing the gap between them and Fnatic. Well, we're going to be seeing the buy down coming on this side of Fnatic. It's, you know, you can't call them Swedes because it's just
I
like,
knew
you know,
wanted
both.
to there.
I wanted to, but it just doesn't feel right. And well, you already got 2 players making their way towards Long. Crim's going to be here and nets that first frag out onto Jazar. Now, the remaining players over towards Drop looking to try and make their way on through. Bomb's been dropped all the way back towards T-Spawn, so I reckon we're just going to see around when they go for the frags here. Not really too accustomed to this, heading down to these tight finishes. Well, Crim's going to be able to find one, but the trade comes through from Freddy B, who nets himself 2. Well, if I'm to get one more in a bar, but Rez is there to instantly trade things back. Bomb's going to be picked up by Dennis, who had to loop all the way back towards T-Spawn, and that's allowed Freddy B to make his way up through mid. In through connector, and now he's going to be pushing up towards this B site. The only issue is this is going to be a case of false information. He's pushed all the way up towards B, hasn't spotted anyone, which actually could cause this rotate to happen now over towards this site. I mean, he pushed from A, right? He didn't spot anyone in mid. He must be thinking, where the hell are these guys? And that's exactly why we're still seeing Rez sat over here towards this A site, because whilst B is sounding clear right now, they're not 100% sure. Dennis and JW pushing out towards this site. Bomb's going to go down. No one's playing these aggressive angles, so they have no information as to where either of these players are until that bomb's going to go down. Rez will be able to hear it get planted. JW going to be grabbing himself a UMP in mid. And now, as that bomb gets triggered, so should the rotate from Freddy B, who, if he comes in on the flank and can manage to deal with JW, they can have a nice crossfire set up here. Rez as well, playing this close angle, can be the first man on the scene to try and catch these players as they get into the afterplant positions. JW playing down over towards mid. Does have an incendiary to play around with. Freddy B just opting to make his way in through Drop to rejoin Rez on this retake. That smoke's going to lock them at the site, and at this point, a save looking like it could potentially be on the cards. Unless Rez finds some sort of entry sooner rather than later, they're going to have very little time. Luckily enough, we do have 2 kits, but it's JW in mid that I'm worried about. He could be the linchpin into this round. Has the crossfire set up with Dennis, who is going to be tagged a little bit by these UMPs and does fall finally at the hands of Freddy B, but time's going to be fast running out. JW just has to find one on the cross. He's actually going to be forced on back, but already no time left trying to exit the site. Rez is going to be tagged down low, but does manage to survive to fight another day. They save up a FAMAS and a UMP, but Fnatic pick up that 11th round and now will have enough money to buy down.
Yeah, they were a little bit too slow, and I was a bit disappointed with the way that they sort of played the latter stages. I know that one of them was very, very low, but just his position, if he just takes a little look over to Plat, they know exactly where they are. That's all he needed to clear. That was the one spot, and I think because he ran through A, he just assumed that there was no way they could be there anymore, so a little bit unlucky with the timing, I suppose, and just the fact they had to go back and get the bomb, but yeah, mistakes definitely being made, and well, Crims doesn't like mistakes, punishing 2 players early on, opening up this A side with just Barber left.
Yeah, Barber trying to just dodge around, and oh, did he get spotted down the jumping over? I don't think he did, but Flush is going to peek out wide, takes him down anyway. Bomb still over towards B, means that these guys on A can easily collapse in behind Freddy B and Rez, who currently find themselves over towards Drop Down and Connector respectively. Rez about to peek on out, going to be at the full brunt of JW with the UMP. He does land the headshot. JW just going to duck the hell out of there, counting his blessings as Olaf snatches that bomb, goes in for the rotate over towards B, and at this point, Rez and Freddy looking to try and save as JW does go down. Dancing the duel of death up against the Mag 7. And Rez maybe looking to try and farm up some more cash. Wait and see if these guys do go for the chase. I mean, he knows Fnatic are feeling confident. Dennis going to check the angle. And Rez, oh, where are you looking? Don't think anyone's going to emerge out the wall anytime soon. And now it's going to be all on Freddy to try and hold onto the M4. Everyone from Fnatic hunting him down. Don't want to let him get away with anything. But I don't think they're going to push much further than this. I mean, they want to try and build up an economy themselves. They flash themselves out towards the B site. There's plenty of time actually for them to go on the hunt here. They are going to be clearing all these angles. Freddy's in real danger of being discovered soon. Flush is going to be tagged down low. He does find the first, but now they know where he is. Dennis going to be running on over, sprinting as fast as his little legs will carry him, and down goes Freddy B. They don't save the M4, and Fnatic find themselves with a 12th.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. Obviously, the bomb went down so late that they were already on the aggression once it was anywhere near going off. JW going to pick up the Mac 10 in order to try and farm up some cash, and this is pretty much a flat eco coming out from the CT side. 1 flashbang invested, every single player going over towards this A side, and they're just going to try and take some players with them, but they've been a little bit unlucky as every single player has gone towards B.
Yeah, this stack not going to be working out. This B bomb site just infested with Fnatic players. Olof going to be watching the flank. They're going to try to get the montage clip. Down goes two. Looking for the third, but nope. Going to fall at the hands of the pistols. And anyway, they're on an eco. Olof said it wouldn't have been a good frag movie clip anyway. Down goes Jazar. They're looking to try and take everything out of the hands of Epsilon that they can. Rez is still here, and he will fall. It's all on Barbar. Trying to make his way through. T-Spawn wants to try and take something out of the hands of Fnatic. A bit of a keepsake. He does find a ding on a flusher, but that's going to be it. Takes him out of 5 HP. Flusher quicker on the trigger there to pivot round. Finds that frag. Fnatic 13-6 with a 7-round advantage. Tom, what's it going to take from Epsilon to try and pull this back?
Well, for stars, I would have liked to see the AWP onto Jayzer. It's always good to see it on the CT side because it can just open up so many avenues, especially when it comes to picks. Because then it's a little bit less risky with information plays. The other way they could do it is just by slowing down a lot of these aggressive pushes with utility. The problem is JW only has a Mac 10. So at the moment he has next to no fear. There's only one player with any head armor on the other side of the board, and that would be Jayzer. And, well, the other players are all going to be just as vulnerable to an AK as they are to this Mac 10.
Yeah, JW looking to be the Mac Daddy of Fnatic. In real danger of mopping up these frags, like you say. 4 players with that head armor. He's going to be lethal as he just charges on through, looking to go for a bit of a drive-by play. Now makes his way out. He's already secured drop down. This is going to open up the possibility to split out towards A. Drop down control, of course, being essential for this A split. And while Barbar is going to be repositioning over towards the window to try and deny exactly that. But they have forsaken drop for the time being. Olof going to get spotted out by Rez, who just ducks on back. Doesn't want to take that duel once he misses the initial shot. It's the aggression from Jayzer out towards Long that I'm going to keep an eye on. I might be able to find this frag on a Flusher. No, not today. When you miss those first couple of shots on a player like Flusher, you will go down. Barbar's able to find one to put it back into a 4-on-4 at least. You've still got Kali over towards this A site as well. And now Barbar's rotated around, but the bomb on Flusher making its way over towards B slowly but surely, saying that Dennis going to go down. And now suddenly I think we're going to see that bomb actually opt to re-rotate back over towards A. They've lost the one player they had in drop. Olaf Meister going to fall as well. Crims over towards Long, has to open this up, does find Kali, but Barbar's there to try and trade things out. He's got to land these shots, got to buy time for the rotate, but he has heard these players, and with so little time left, they've got to presume it's A at this point. Flush is still here, but he's 28 HP, and Barbar looking for the triple kill. He's going to be facing the wrong way, waiting for the pop flash to come out. Flusher doesn't have one, though. Only got the Molotov, and there's Barbar. Down he goes. 10 seconds left. Flusher's tagged down extremely low. The Molotov is going to miss, and Freddy B, quick to capitalize, takes out Flusher. 13-7 as Epsilon find themselves one back in the rifle rounds.
Yeah, we are, of course, going to be seeing a buyback up from Fnatic, as they do still have plenty of cash after the first few rounds. Not going to be a Mac 10 in play this time for JW either, so he's going to be a little bit more deadly. And we've got an auto shot here in play, Barber, with the XM. I'm looking forward to seeing this one. Don't see it in play too often. It is going to be over towards drop. And again, we're just seeing a lot of aggression. Olaf back on his trusty plat. We see him play this quite a lot in the past. Going to stand in the Molotov, though, and Rez will just be there to finish him off. But that was a bit more of a fake, as the rest of the team are going to make their way over towards this A side. Crims with the entry will take down Jayzer, leaving just one player actually towards this A side whatsoever. But with a perfect flank, it's going to be Kali. He's got to be careful, though. Still catches Crims. And now there's a little bit of a pincer movement from the CT side. They had them surrounded.
Yeah, they're going to be knocking on the doors of A site, though, as they go on in. Despite having them surrounded, there is no control over site, and that's just going to allow Dennis to walk on in. Flusher as well, rooting back towards mid. They know that there's players in their backline, and that's exactly why you have this JW Flusher combo in middle right now to try and dispatch of these guys when they come in on the flank. Dennis hasn't gone for the site yet because he knows he can't risk crossing in case there is a player who could try and shut this plant down. Playing this perfectly here on the set of Fnatic, just waiting for these crossfires to come on through. Dennis now crossing to the site. Actually, be walking into the telephone pole for a little bit longer than he would have liked, but bomb's going to go down now. 3-on-4. The XM still up on Barbar. Curious to see if anything does come of that. Freddy B going to go down in mid, but Kali's there to trade things out. JW will fall, leaving it at 2-on-3. Kali's going to net himself an AK as well, as he now looks to push on up towards mid. This is going to be just a multitude of crossfires coming out. Barbar, first player on the scene with that XM1014, trying to open things up with the auto shotty at close range. And, well, Flush is going to be Molotov back. How is he going to stand in it for? Now he's got a 10 HP left. Barbar just dispatches him. Dennis on the side going to try and clutch it out 1v2, and that's too much to ask as he goes down. Defuse going to come in. And they do manage to retake that site. Epsilon find themselves an 8th round. But thanks to that bomb plant, Fnatic still have enough to force buy into the next.
Yeah, still not going to be the best buy in the world. They could get an AWP if they want it and have a couple of SMGs in play, or just drop over a rifle or two. It's looking like they're just going to go for a bit of a half buy with a lot of utility and have a much better buy going into the next round. A lot of pistols in play. We know that these can work. We've seen it in the previous half, but for the CT side, this is the sort of round you want to be keeping as clean as possible. They don't have a huge amount of money. If they were to lose more than even 3 players, that would be worrying, and there's still the potential for them to even lose the round. And again, it's going to be this aggressive push. Olaf going straight out onto plat. The rest of the team sort of waiting behind to see what he can do. And, well, so far, hasn't been able to do too much. Just falls back to the rest of the team.
Yeah, you can tell they've heard the footsteps as they rotate to play around very preemptively. It's Freddy B there to try and do the damage up close with the UMP. Does find the first. Olaf going to go down. Dennis to try and trade things out as he does go in for the peek. And Freddy B's going to head just peek on over. And he will go down, faltering over towards the B site. Back into a 4-on-4. Now Jays are going to be rotating around as well to try and reinforce. JW's been able to get himself in through drop. They're going to be watching the rotate in through connector. And that's going to be devastating here if he does get taken down early on. And Jays will falter. He goes down. And actually could be Dennis and JW to try and clutch this out. Dennis going to get 3. He's only got to get 1 more as it's all on Barbar. He does find 1. Him and Dennis, the clash of the Titans here in towards this B site. Bomb's going to be down and out in the open. Barbar can just sit pretty and watch. But Dennis to push on in. He's got to get that bomb. And with 45 seconds left, no utility for the side of Fnatic. Dennis got to land this shot. Barbar walks out and finds the frag. 1v1. What was a 1v2? Clutched out by Barbar. 13-9. And only 4 adds the difference now.
Yeah, the problem with that is that was still somewhat of a half buy. The interesting thing, though, is that this buy isn't really going to be that much better. They'll have a couple of extra rifles, the AWP, but it's still going to be a little bit lackluster overall. It's not like they've got one okay buy and then a perfect buy. There's still holes in this one, but you have to remember the amount of damage they've done. If they win this, it's going to send Epsilon back to a reset. Only Freddy with 1,000, Kelly with 800, and everybody else with 200 or less. So crucial times for Epsilon. If they win this one, it will finally be somewhat of an eco. There will still be some pistols for Fnatic to play with. Then if they get a bomb plant, well, they could even go for a buy. In the early round scenarios, it's aggressive over towards A, taking the close range battles. Drop down, looking like it's about to be challenged by Olaf and the UMP. And, well, A split looking more than inevitable at this point as they now aggress over towards long.
Yeah, once again, JW and Olaf Meister to be grabbing control of connector. JW maintains that position just to trade out if anyone does go in for the peak. Now going to rejoin his bomb. And the rest of the teammates over towards mid while Olaf has control of drop. Having him here is just so incredibly strong. Let's try and open up some stuff. Now Freddy B's going to be able to get 1 as that's going to be Olaf going down. The flank will be eliminated. Dennis, meanwhile, going to fall over towards long. And suddenly this push going to be just torn apart by Epsilon. The trades haven't come through. It's Jazar up close with Carly to reinforce the pop flash. Not going to come out just yet, but already generally going to be tagged down incredibly low. Jazar is holding the close angle with the UMP. And while the double peek about to come on through, Crims goes wide, going to be tagged down as well. Carly in from double doors. Not double doors, sorry, in towards mid. Finds both of them, and then there's Flush at a full long. Epsilon find themselves a 10th. They keep 4 players alive, and that's the money-making round. Ultimately, as well, they reset the Fnatic economy. Once again, going to be faced with another light investment round, but actually going to be able to force by a little bit as a result of having the full brunt of the economy bonus.
Yeah, once more it will be those pistols, but we are starting to see a little bit of a resurgence from Epsilon. Jay finally with the AWP in hand as well, picking that up off of Dennis in the previous, and now we're just going to have aggressive push over towards long. Crims will be able to trade 1 back, bringing it back to a 4 versus 4, but he's got to be careful because Jay is still in that mid position, ready and waiting with the AWP. A lot of damage already done to the remaining Fnatic players as well, and the timing going to get the better of Jay as JW makes his way through the doors.
Yeah, JW on his pocket orb, making his way out towards mid. And actually, Jazar does miss that shot, so not going to capitalize on the aggression from JW just yet. Crims going to be throwing the AK across to Dennis as he now reconvenes with the rest of the team over towards long. The smoke's being lined up, looking like an A split going to be on the cards out through mid and towards long. That smoke's going to smoke off double doors. That will render Jazar useless. It's just, does he make the decision to push into the site or fall on back towards balcony? And if he does push on through, he can then look to trade out with Barbar. I think if he sits back, that's when the problems are going to occur because they only got locked out the sites. The Deagles and the Tech 9 is going to be far too mobile and they will be able to just swarm on out. leaving a lot of this on Barbar, waiting for that smoke to fade on long. In comes the smokes, and now Jays are going to go aggressive before getting smoked out. Now pushing into the site, and this is exactly what we needed to see. The rotate coming in from Freddy B as well, but Jays are just going to fall anyway. It's all on Barbar playing over towards cannons. He's going to get spotted. Olaf with 2 on the Deagle. What's going on? Turned into a 2-on-3. Freddy B trying to come in from that B site, has a lot of work left to do, and Olaf going to go aggressive. Down goes Rez. Olaf on 3 frags now. And in the blink of an eye, it's all on Freddy. Olaf looking for that sweet, succulent 4th frag.
Yeah, he's got real problems at the moment as well, because player is behind him in the form of Olafmeister, and now it's all down to Freddy to try and get back in. He spots one. That's Dennis right in front of him, just trying to find a little bit more, maybe be able to get behind him. Dennis just completely locked on this position. If he can get Crims, this could be absolutely perfect. He's going to spot both players. Just try... Oh my goodness, is he going to try and go for the Ninja Defuse? He's perfectly placed to do it. Has a kit in hand as well. Just going to go for it right at the end. Dennis has heard it. He's running back towards the site, and he will deny. Just about stopping it, but the balls there on Freddy to try and go for that. And the fact that he managed to sneak past 2 players as well.
It brings a tear to my eye that that's what we do. I mean, I would have liked to, in all honesty, have seen Freddy go for that, like go for the frags. I mean, he saw both the players on site, right? Olaf was tagged down low. I reckon if he'd actually gone for the kills, maybe we could have seen a different outcome. But still, I mean, he went for the Ninja Defuse, and you've got to appreciate it. The huge hulking balls. Now it's Carly in mid with the Orc playing off the spawn, and down goes JW. The push towards his A site, going to be just torn apart as Dennis goes down. A 3-on-5 going to ensue as they continue the aggression. That slam dunk nade from Crims does find Barbar at least. Now it's Jazar over towards Long to try and reinforce this site. They're going to lose Freddy B as he makes his way out through double doors. Delph is going to be quick to deal with Jazar over towards Long. Carly with the Orc finding that early frag. And oh, there's the nade, but the nade doesn't have time as Olaf just does that for style. Takes him out with the bullets before the explosion can do the job. It's all on Rez. UMP in hand. A 1v3, but bombs going over towards B.
This does give Rez an opportunity, but he doesn't actually know where the bomb's going to be planted. Flusher sneaking in here, it's risky, but at the same time it means the likelihood is Rez is going to be challenging a site that doesn't actually have the bomb down. Unless he really does start to question, or if he tries to save, it won't matter. Olaf's going to get his 3rd kill of the round, bringing it to 15-10. And what seemed inevitable after the first half may be coming true in this round, as they need one more to take the first map.
Yeah, 1 round away. Buy from Epsilon going to be anything but perfect. It's just them scraping the bottom of the barrels, trying to get what they can out of this round. Just going to be a couple of upgraded pistols here and there. A nice little bit of utility, a couple of flashes to play around with, 2 smokes. The only issue is that's not really going to be enough to delay the push from Fnatic for too long. And then you open up a very all too likely possibility of a highly explosive play coming on through with very little utility to either retake or hold it off. And already we can see that Fnatic making their way over towards B. Everyone going to be here looking like they are just going to go in for the flat push. Now, luckily enough, Epsilon have rotated almost everyone here with the exception of Barbar. They hear that nade bounce off of Olafmeister's soft, squishy body. And actually, Freddy B going to do a good bit of damage over towards Tree, but it's Rez to find the first. I know he goes down and he combines with Freddy, who's going to get 2 with the UMP. And now Flusher and Crims desperately trying to refrag, but they can't quite do it. Freddy's going to be on 3, looking for the 4th, and oh, down goes Crims. Freddy B, the savior of Epsilon, keeps them in this to fight another day on the back of an insane UMP play. 15-11 now. 4 rounds the difference, and the economy of Fnatic is going to be almost reset.
So close, but yet so far away. It's that CT side oomph that's just going to win them the round, killing every player that tries to come into his crosshair. And, well, not really the best start to the round, is it? Rez now down to 39 HP. Pistols in play once again. We've already seen Olaf do a lot of damage in this circumstance so far. The push is going to be coming out from Olaf. He's got that deke once again, an insta-kill. It wouldn't have mattered if he body shot because Rez was already low, but it's the headshot, and it's clean.
Yeah, but it's only Olaf here. Everyone else over towards that A site, with the exception of JW, who's somehow better to get in the back line, just playing around these guys, and Jazar's about to go down. That's going to be an AWP in the hands of him. And actually, JW hasn't been able to find it just yet. Instead of pushing through the smoking, it is going to fall to the hands of Carly, so suddenly they retake this man advantage. He doesn't capitalize on that really strong position, and now the 3 remaining players for Fnatic out towards this B site. And what's going to be fast is going to be aggressive, and down goes Crims. Jay's out to find one, but the trade does come through from Dennis and gets put back into a 2-on-2. Flusher finds himself yet another. It's going to be Barbar up on the site to try and hold things down. Dennis with the deagle. You can't discount this man, this machine, as he finds himself a second frag. Flusher with the scavenged AK, and Dennis trying to close this out. They find themselves 2v1. Bomb is miles away though, and as you can see, Dennis rerouting back, has to go pick that up. It's all the way over towards B, and it's a very long journey. During this time, Freddie B could definitely reposition into somewhere more favorable, perhaps deny that bomb even ever reaching the site. The smoke's going to come out, and as he looks to make his way on through, we might even see Dennis now route back towards that B site. But no, instead, going to continue this push over towards A. Freddie B just waiting on the side of the smoke. He's been the clutch king for these guys so many times in the past, but it's him and Flusher go back to back. Flusher spots the leg, and oh, there we go. Down he goes. 16-11 as Fnatic round out this first nap, albeit at a relatively close scoreline. But let's not forget, this was Epsilon's map pick. And as we head into the second map, that's going to be Cash, picked by Fnatic. There is all to play for. 1-0 right now in tonight's second best of 3.
Yeah, a little bit closer than I thought it was. I feel like Epsilon put up a good fight considering they have recently lost a player, and actually going onto their T side, or going onto their CT side, sorry, it did look like there was some hope after they strung 4 rounds together, but they were just too far behind. Their T side really didn't do enough. They had a lot of problems. They were able to bring a lot of the rounds close as well. Like we saw some rounds where only a couple of players survived, but in all of the clutch situations, it was down to Fnatic and they managed to win them. So that's map 1 done. Obviously, we are going on to map number 2, which will be the choice of Fnatic as well.
So before we go ahead and throw to a very quick break, be sure to stick around. We're going to say thank you to you guys in chat for sticking around because, you know, you never really get your name read out by someone on this stream, and doesn't that sound exciting? So to say hello, we've got Sir Tobler, Respect My Authority, RN Tings, Heinf, Zeolic, Mistak, Robin Mass Effect,